Ancient Greece.
Influence.
The art of ancient Greece has had a large impact on the development of Western art. We can see its influence in the architecture around us and in the way that the human form is represented in artwork. Temple architecture. Visitors to Greece today can still see some of the famous Greek architecture in places like the Parthenon and the Temple of Poseidon. Greek architecture is characterized by three different styles: Doric, Ionic, and Corinthian. The orders are characterized by the forms, proportions, and details that they used. These three architectural orders, while thousands of years old, still bear familiar characteristics that we see in architecture today. One of the main differences among these three orders is found when looking at the tops of the columns. Columns, or pillars, are large vertical structures that help support the weight of the structure overhead. Columns are typically round, and they may be made of stone, or appear as if they are made of stone. You may have seen columns on the front sides of houses or other buildings. The columns offer us a point of difference among the three orders, but they did also have some differences in other areas as well. Doric order started on the mainland of Greece sometime before 600 BCE. The main characteristic of Doric order is the capital or top of the column, which consists of a rounded echinus at the top of the column joined to a square called the abacus. The column in Doric order has vertical grooves, called fluting. Often there are 20 of these grooves around the column. The columns often also lack a base for the column and instead stand directly on the floor below it. The frieze, or area above the columns, often alternates between vertical bands and carved reliefs. The style of the Doric order tends to be more formal than the other two orders. Ionic order originated in eastern Greece, and it features a more ornate column and capital than the Doric order. In Ionic order, columns often rest on ornate, detailed bases, and the fluted shaft of the column is more splendid than the Doric columns. There are also often 24 fluted grooves in the column. At the top of the column is a large double scroll or volute, which resembles the curved horns of a ram or the curve of a seashell. Corinthian order grew out of Ionic order and has many characteristics in common with Ionic order. However, the capitals of the columns in the Corinthian order are much more ornate and elaborate than those in the Ionic order. It generally features 2 rows of leaves that fan out from the capital and 4 scrolls. This style was used first inside temples before being used on the exterior of temples. Ancient Greek temples also often contain exterior sculptures and reliefs, often on the frieze above the columns. The Greek gods were common subjects for these reliefs, while others contain narratives of events, such as scenes from the Trojan War. Art historians have noted in particular that many of these sculptures and reliefs show a deep understanding of the human body and how the appearance of the body changes in different positions and in action.